Is money the root of evil, or people just evil with money? So, I don't know. But today we're going to touch on that subject. Feel like it should be pretty interesting. Not going to lag too much. We're just going to dive right into it, really. But yeah, today, as you guys probably seen by the thumbnail, we're doing a conspiracy theory app. But yeah, let's get into it. Okay. All right, so we're just going to dive right in, right? So we got the app prepared. As always, zero code needed. Using Replit, building applications, 30 apps in 30 days. My name is Adrian Glenn. This is Military Grade Automation. Appreciate you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the channel so far, if you enjoyed this challenge, please give me a like, comment, subscribe. It helps out a lot. But yeah, trying to just do something a little bit interesting and yeah, switch it up a little bit. All right, so that app is processing. I've already dropped in that project requirement document and a mock-up image. So we can see right here while that's loading, let's check out what we have coming up for us. So we have a home screen with scrollable conspiracy theory cards. Each card displays title, thumbnails, and likelihood/score gauge. Search functionality with keyword filtering, sorting options, A to Z, likelihood, highest to lowest by date, category filters, UFO, politics. It's a lot of different features coming up for us. Let me make sure this is showing up correctly. Okay. Just trying to make sure that stream is pulling up correctly. But yeah, the app is actually loading. Okay, let me check that. Okay. Yeah, I'm still learning. I mean, I'm doing this 30-day challenge, but this is actually my first 30 days ever streaming at the same time too. So still learning while we go. Okay, for sure. All right, so that looks good. That looks good to go. All right, cool. So yeah, the app is loading up for us. And yeah, I think this will be a really fun one, really interesting. It's a good way to switch things up, you know. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited for this one. It's loading up now. We have the source pages loading. All right, cool. So it's just populating, getting that set up for us. Okay. Created client source component conspiracies. Okay. Yep, just populating that basic information for us so we can get this app started, as always. But yeah, I think this will be a fun one. Man. We just got to let this foundation load up so we can get started and get some cool features added in, get some good information. Let me know what conspiracies you guys think might be actually true in the chat. Think that'll be fun, you know, switch things up a little bit. But yeah, it's hitting up, installing these dependencies. Okay. Yep, loading up that foundation for us. As always, once we get that foundation, everything just goes so smooth. So just need to get that foundation loaded up for us really quick. Okay. So we can see right here, creating a replit.md. This is usually one of the final files to let it load up. But at the same time, right, we don't actually need to do any software coding. We don't have to write any lines of code. So it takes a couple seconds to get populated, and you know, it's no big deal really. All right, so yep, still loading up those changes. And let me know if you guys think I should start after we already have a foundation of the app set up. I try and show as much information as possible because I feel like I just want people to actually be able to do everything I do. But let me know if you guys want me to just jump into the action. Also, after this 30 days, we'll definitely be doing a lot more different forms of videos. I got tutorials coming up, got a breakdown of the whole 30-day process coming up as well. So it's a lot of cool information coming up. Everything's going to be shifting. We're going to go a lot more detailed into these specific apps as well. We're just going to be doing a lot more. Everything's growing. This channel's only been 2 months It's only been here for 2 months, you know, so we're still building. But yeah, let's check this out. All right, so this is what they came up with from the very beginning, right? This is just that introduction that we have, and looks like it gave us 6 different conspiracies here. That's cool. That's cool. Definitely need a lot more, but I like these breakdowns. So we have, okay. So basically, looks like the breakdown for the foundation, and I did set all of this up originally, right? So when I made that project requirement document, I put in some details and everything that the app is following. So that's how we were able to get this app. But I made 30 of these, so I don't remember all the details specifically, to be 100% honest, but that's the fun part, right? We can learn together and get things set up together. All right, cool. So Area 51, let's see what they have here. All right, so we have rankings of the physical evidence, witness testimony, expert analysis, okay, fun facts, debunking points, media gallery. Definitely need these updated for sure. All right, let's check this out though. Area 51 is theorized to be a secret military base where the U.S. government stores and reverse engineers recovered alien technology and spacecraft. The high security and classified nature of the facilities has fueled decades of speculation about extraterrestrial research. The base is officially acknowledged. Okay, cool. So it gives us a foundation. It's decent. We can do so much more with this. All right, so we got chemtrails here too. All right, for sure. So I like the setup. I like the foundation. I like what they're going with, just the basic way that everything is laid out. But we're gonna need a lot more information here. We're gonna need a lot more details. We need the official images to show up here correctly, and we need to better set up what is deciding as far as unlikely and plausible and everything like that. So let's just start up getting the real accurate information and making sure everything is looking correct. So let's just let it know. Pull the information from Wikipedia using the Wikipedia API. Okay. Update the information in the app and use actual real images instead of the placeholders. Okay, so we're starting off like this just because we want to get that good foundation so we can add a lot more information in here and make sure that everything is laid out the way we want it to be and have as much information as possible, right? We can add 100, 500 different conspiracies in here. We can have a lot more details, but we just want to make sure that everything is going to be laid out the way it should be. Make sure everything is smooth. Okay. So, but I like the foundation though. I think it's pretty decent. Trying to make this a very straightforward app to use. You can pretty much search your conspiracy and check if it's been debunked, maybe not debunked. Maybe it was maybe it's some real information behind it. Maybe it's not real information, you know, but a lot of gossip goes around, a lot of misinformation goes around. So I think this app will be really good to just have a foundation. Also, if you believe a conspiracy, this would be a good way to let people know that you believe the conspiracy and just break it down directly, you know, because you can't really just explain a conspiracy off the top of your head. You know, I'm not really for or against conspiracies. I think everything needs to be looked at by its own. But yeah, I just think it's a fun thing to talk about, man. It's always fun, right? Like, it's always fun. I always have conversations with my friends and everything, like aliens, Illuminati, etc., etc. So yeah, I think it'll be cool. All right, so now let me create a Wikipedia API service and update the server routes to integrate it. Okay, cool. So now, instead of this placeholder information, which seems decent enough, right? Yeah, I don't want to say this because this will probably blacklist me on YouTube. But yeah, so instead of the basic foundation information that they have here, we're just trying to make sure we get more accurate information from Wikipedia and things like that. So it should be able to update all of these images for us as well. Make sure everything lines up. Yeah, and we can always add in more sources for information, of course. But for right now, I think it'll be great just to have a good foundation with Wikipedia. We also need to set up this design better. But Again, this is a functionality app, right? This isn't really a pretty app. Like the PlayStation app, the movie app, the anime app, things like that we built in the past, those were more pretty apps, right? For lack of better words, they were more focused on just making everything look fun. This is more of a functionality project, so it doesn't have to be as pretty. Doesn't have to have as much bells and whistles, right? All right, cool. So let me add the Wikipedia enhancement functionality to the homepage. Okay, nice. Looks like it understood exactly what we were going for. We could also add an AI component in here too, right? So you can actually ask the AI if you need any more specifics on the information, okay? So the moon landing hoax is showing up 75%. All right, let's check out on the big screen first. All right, moon landing is showing 75% likely. Sheesh, okay. So these images haven't been updated yet. But again, I really like the way this is laid out though. Like we just need to lock in on getting some more direct information here. Let's see. So we're still loading up those changes though. It should be done pretty quick. All right, so you can share the theories. All right, that's cool. All right. Let's check out what we got though. Hopefully it gives us that clean update. Let's check it out. Okay, yeah, it's still loading up. But yeah, that's the beauty of the Wikipedia API though. Seriously, like the Wikipedia API is really powerful, just pulling some general information. There's always more specific APIs we could use. We're even gonna add a database here. I wanna get that database locked in early. For sure. All right, so still loading up those changes. And looks like that Wikipedia information is not showing up here. So I'm going to assume that it did probably add in that API information, but it just didn't get updated on the front end. But we could find out. Stanley Kubrick was allegedly hired to film the fake moon landing. That's hilarious. All right, cool. So got some details in here. Stanley Kubrick, classic director. All right, so flat Earth. This theory claims the Earth. It's funny about the flat Earth theory because I actually worked with missile systems in my past, and we have to account for the curvature of the Earth so that we can aim our missiles correctly, right? So like we have, like, they can't lie to us about the Earth being flat. So if the Earth was actually flat, all of our missiles would not be able to accurately land on their targets because we plan for that. So that's just, it's always been funny for me there. But yeah, all right, so let's check out what they have here. Theory claims the Earth is flat and surrounded by an ice wall rather than a spinning globe. Flat Earth proponents argue that space agencies, government, and scientific institutions are part of a map. All right, cool. These are really, really generic pieces of information. We want this to be a lot more detailed. So let me check it out. Let me fix the TypeScript errors in the storage layer first and update the server index. All right, cool. So it's still loading up these changes for us. All right, so it says enhance with Wikipedia data. Okay, so I have noticed this with some of our apps that we've created. The PlayStation app went this way, but basically that enhance button essentially means if you click this button, it'll update the information on the app through Wikipedia. So this is a way just to make sure that you don't keep using data and just every time you load up the app, it doesn't pull the information. You just have to press this button. But I want to wait for this database to load before we try that out. Not 100% sure if that'll connect correctly. You know what? It's not going to hurt anything. Let's find out. Theories enhanced. All conspiracies have been updated with Wikipedia and real images. Okay. So it looks like it's attempting to pull the accurate information, but we just don't have that accurate information yet. And it's still updating the database though. So ball is still rolling. Let's check out what we get. All right, so let me check the database to see if the initialization worked. Okay, cool. Great, the database is working and the conspiracy theory data is being loaded from the database. Let me verify the Wikipedia enhancement functionality is working with the database by running it. Okay, cool. So it's loading up. It's making them changes for us. Database integration working successfully. Nice. So yeah, once we get this database updated, we just need to double check, make sure Wikipedia is able to pull good information. We can add a couple more theories in here, or more than a couple. You know, we can just really evaluate which theories should be added in and go from there too. Like, it's a lot more features we can add in, a lot more capabilities we can drop in here. Just need to get that foundation as always. And I'm gonna try and switch it up next time. Next time I'm gonna have a decent foundation for the app, lay it out, and we can just dive right into adding the extra features. For sure. Feel like we're 15, or this is the 16th app so far, so it's definitely been a decent amount of examples. With that PlayStation app we made yesterday, it actually did give us a full, or I actually did give a full 100% rundown of building the app, from making the project requirement document all the way up to completing the project. And that app was really cool, actually. If you guys missed that app, it has news sources coming in and gives you all the PlayStation game and movie and TV show information, and it's really laid out really nice. You could talk to different characters from the game, so it's a lot of features in there. All right, cool. So I've successfully added a post GRE SQL database to your conspiracy theory app with comprehensive Wikipedia API integration. Cool. So it looks like it did add in what we were looking for. Let's check it out though. So this is what the moon landing saying now. And if we click enhance, see the results here. All conspiracy theories have been updated. Okay. So looks like that update is just not functional yet, which is fine. Let's get this resolved. Okay. As always, anytime we see a problem, we just copy and paste a screenshot of that error and just note error. The Wikipedia updates are not showing, are not making any changes. Okay. All right. We can get this fixed though. Okay, so it's loading up now. So, in these situations, I always assume that it did make changes to the back end, but it's just not showing up on the front end. And that's usually the case from what I've experienced. I can see the issue, the Wikipedia updates are working, but the front end might not be showing. Exactly. So this is exactly what I was thinking would be the issue. The changes have been taking place. The Wikipedia information is in the app. It's just not showing on our end yet. So let's check it out though. All right. So client, source page, home. Yeah, it's still making these changes for us. It's getting things updated. Yep. Ball is still rolling. Yeah, but I can't lie. After this 30-day 30 app challenge, everything is going up to a whole nother level. Seriously, got a lot of really cool things planned, but got this challenge. We're making 30 apps in 30 days, and I gotta stick to it. We gotta make sure this happens. So let's see. Pulling authentic content and images. Okay, cool. So it looks like it updated them. Still not seeing those changes show up yet. Okay. Conspiracy theories claim some of that. Okay, for sure. All right. Let's get this updated though. So still not seeing those changes show up yet. Okay. So it's still loading, it's still processing. Definitely saw the front end change. I noticed that Wikipedia portion, when I clicked that enhance with Wikipedia data, it definitely did look like it updated, but it's still processing that actual function of the request. So it might, like I said, it goes step by step. So the beauty of Replit, we can see the changes in real time, but that doesn't necessarily mean all the changes are completed, right? All right, pulling authentic content. All right, let's check it out now. Still not seeing these. Okay, so it says it updated things. These images have been updated. All right, it's a couple steps forward. Okay. Let's check this out. Not updated. Check this one out. Okay. No, not updated as well. Chemtrails. Yeah, these images don't look like they've been updated yet. The Illuminati images do look like they got updated though. So that is some Area 51. Okay, these images aren't clickable yet. That's something we can do also. Click these, let them be enhanced, so they'll be viewable. And these are just placeholder images for sure. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let the app know we need to reorganize this information based on the Wikipedia articles, right? So instead of having this information here and having Wikipedia fill in the blanks, it doesn't seem like it's actually filling in a blank. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna reorganize this website based on the average information that would be in Wikipedia. So all we gotta do is say error, reorganize the design of each conspiracy to populate relevant data from Wikipedia. Okay. Use pattern recognition to organize to find a consistent group of interesting information that exists in the majority of the conspiracies. To know what should be added. All right, nice. So basically, all I'm saying is instead of using the baseline information that we have here, right, the debunking points, fun facts, etc., we want to use the information that Wikipedia usually has to organize how this website shows the information, right? Which is just a better way. Instead of us going through every Wikipedia article and saying like, hey, this piece of information is usually here, that piece of information is usually here, all we're doing is letting Replit just organize things for us and find all the relevant information that's usually there so that we can have these check boxes for each conspiracy. That way we can scale this from these 6 conspiracies to 600 conspiracies to 6,000, etc., etc. So it'll just be a way nicer way to make sure that we're getting good information for each of these individual conspiracies. Okay. All right, so, but I do like this design though. It's very simple, straightforward. So we definitely need more of the proof versus lies. Is it true? Is it not true? We need more specifics that people will be looking for, right? Like we need to make sure that you can click any one of these conspiracies and within like 5-15 seconds, you can pretty much know what's real, what's not real, etc., etc. And we also have the ability to add in the AI as a pretty much reference, right? So you can actually ask the AI questions. Say for instance, for the chemtrails, you can ask the AI like, hey, I see it says this here. Are you sure this is right? What about this? I heard this, I heard that, etc., etc. And the AI can speak to you like a human being who's already researched all of these conspiracies. So I think that would be really cool too. All right, perfect. Now I need to update the JSON data file. All right, so let's get that update done for us. Cool. Looks pretty clean so far. All right. Also, I really do like how it combines multiple genres of theories, right? So if you click UFO, all right, let me get that enhanced. Oh yeah, it's still loading these changes for us. Okay. But I did notice if you click like UFO and political, it was showing certain conspiracies, like the Illuminati conspiracy was fitting into both, I guess. So it definitely made sense there, but it's looking clean so far. I'm really liking this. I'm really liking how this is building. And if you guys have seen any of my other videos, you know that this is going to get so much crazier so fast. All right, perfect. Now I need to update the JSON data file with new enhanced Wikipedia derived structure and create a new enhanced Wikipedia service. Cool. So it's just making that change. It's a pretty deep change, but this is important because this will actually lay out the foundation so that we can add in 1 million, or not 1 million literally, but you know, we can add a lot more pieces or a lot more conspiracies without having to really worry about anything working incorrectly. So let's go. Let's go. All right. Yeah, it's still loading up that change for us. It's still loading up that change. Okay. So while this is loading, what we can do is we can actually reference ChatGPT, right? And see a relevant list of popular conspiracies that we think might need to be added in here. I always like to use ChatGPT for data points like this because it usually is just a lot better at just creating a list that we can edit ourselves. Okay. All right, so we got ChatGPT right here, and just gonna let it know we need a list of conspiracies. Create a list of the 100 most popular theories, conspiracy theories. Okay. All right, cool. So yeah, ChatGPT is creating that list for us. While it does that, let's check this out. Okay, it's still loading. Now let me add the enhanced Wikipedia information section. Okay, cool. So it's still processing those changes for us. It's getting things updated. I'm seeing this image change, so it is updating. It's processing. It's processing. All right, now I can see the data is loaded. All right, cool. Let's check out what ChatGPT is giving. All right, it's still loading up those 100 conspiracies. Okay. All right, data is loading successfully. Let me test the API and then finalize the enhanced Wikipedia integration. Okay, nice. Nice. All right. Looks like this is wrapping up soon. And we also should get those listed conspiracies soon. Okay, it's still loading this up. Let's see which one finishes first so we can know exactly what to dive into. Okay, this is good. All right, let's test it out. It should be now pulling relevant information from all of these different theories from Wikipedia to update each of these 6. And then we can add in a ton more conspiracies right after we know that this is looking correct. All right, cool. So I like this. See, it was so much more information. These the images are still not populating correctly yet, but I like this design breakdown so far. It has a timeline for us. Okay. Cold War skepticism and Vietnam War distrust. Okay, so this is the cause, the initial proponents. Okay, so these are the individuals that are associated with these conspiracies. All right, key figures, critics, and researchers. Okay, nice. I like this. Moon landing footage was filmed in a studio. Flag appeared to wave without atmosphere. All right. That's cool. So we can also add in cool things like, say if it's a breakdown on YouTube or something like that, we can add that information into these as well. But for now, this is looking okay. Let's check a couple more really quick. And then we can add in an AI component so we can actually reference the AI just to double check pieces of information or ask more questions. You know, we don't need all the info. We're in the future now. You know, we don't need all the information listed. We can just actually ask the AI if we need details. Okay. So secret society controls world government, manipulation of financial system and markets, population control and social engineering, establishment of new world order. Okay. Dang. Guess they got me, man. I'm getting caught up a little bit. Nah, but all right, this is decent. So we're gonna add an AI component in here. Add an AI component to each conspiracy that acts as an expert to give any additional details requested to the user. Okay. So now we're adding in a chatbot, AI chatbot that can be used to reference questions. Okay. And let's make this fun. AI uses Alex Jones' personality. Okay. So now you're talking to Alex Jones and asking him these questions. So now we're catching a screenshot as well. We always just need to catch a screenshot of where we want the change to take place. Never need a code, but you just got to know exactly what you want and organize things correctly. All right, so this is the list of conspiracies that ChatGPT is recommending we add in. John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, okay, Abraham Lincoln, Tupac, Elvis Presley, Paul McCartney, Okay, these are pretty kind of generic, kind of boring a little bit, but they got all right. They got cool stuff. Project Bluebeam, Nibiru, Hubble Mars images. Okay. So all right. So they kind of look like they escalate a little bit. That's cool. All right. So now it's just asking us for the OpenAI API key. I've already added mine into Replit, but if you were using Replit and you wanted to add AI integration, it'll just guide you in that direction. You can see here, lets you know, go to this website, create an account, get API keys, etc., etc. So everything is broken down. So you don't need actually any experience at all to knock this out. All right, but let's check the results though. Oh yeah, it's still loading up. Let's see what other conspiracies we have pending. Just keep this right here so we can always know when that's loaded. Wow. Yeah, they're going deep. They're going deep. I can't even mention these words on YouTube like that. So chemtrails, all right, cool. All right, there's a lot of things I can't even mention. So yeah, ChatGPT went pretty deep. That's crazy. All right. So this looks like a solid list. I'm not gonna sit here and go through and pick everything specifically. I'm gonna just drop all 100 in here so we can get everything added in. I don't want my personal bias to influence any of this. This is 100% AI generated. This entire app will be generated with AI, zero input from me outside of just guiding the direction. All right, let me create an AI expert UI. All right, it's loading up those changes for us. That's cool. Still processing. All right, so now I'm gonna, yeah, ChatGPT's been locking up a little bit on me. Let me refresh this. Okay, cool. So now lock this list down to the 20 best, most interesting conspiracies. All right, cool. So now we're locking it down, that 100 list. We're going to lock that down to 20 because we want like kind of like a popular section or more list of conspiracies that most people would want to search for, right? You can put those at the top because you might not know what conspiracy you want to look for, right? But if you see those names listed, then it can help guide you in what direction to go in. All right. But let's see these rankings so far. How is it ranking these conspiracies? So this is ranked 90% likely. This is ranked 75% likely. This is 45%. Okay. Yeah, this is 5%. I agree with that for sure. All right. So it's building. Let's see what we get back. Let's see if that change is completed yet. No, it's still loading up that AI integration. But I want to ask Alex Jones. I mean, we got Alex Jones in here. We can add Joe Rogan maybe, just the popular guys who talk about conspiracy theories. All right, let's refresh this. Enhance with Wikipedia so we can get the accurate Wikipedia information in here. All right, cool. Where is the AI assistant? All right, ask about this conspiracy theory. Cool. So what conspiracy theory is this? All right, moon landing. Okay. So do you think this really happened? All right, cool. Okay. He said, do I ever use the Replit AI enhancements? Far as like the AI assistant with Replit or just Replit's own version of OpenAI? I've used Replit's OpenAI before. Or not OpenAI, but Replit's Respond version of OpenAI pretty much. But I just like using OpenAI more, to be honest, because that allows me to, in my experience, I have more experience with OpenAI for one, and for two, it allows me to migrate the changes easily, in my experience personally. All right, cool. So it was loading up those changes. Let's ask again. Let's ask about this one. I don't want to ask about this one. I'm not trying to get banned from YouTube yet. So let's go with Flat Earth. All right, cool. Do you think this is real? Cool. Let's see what we got though. All right. Wake up, sheeple. This is hilarious. All right, so it's loading up those changes for us. Let's see if we get that response though. All right, nice, nice, nice. Wow, he gave us a ton of information. All right, so I would in an app like this, this is gonna be made in one day, right? If we were gonna launch this full project, definitely want to add in real voice for Alex Jones and allow for it to process the user's voice as well. All right, cool. Listen up, folks. Here we are, deep diving into the rabbit hole of one of the most controversial and mind-bending topics. Okay, flat Earth theory. Cool, cool, cool. Believe the. All right, all right. So it says he does believe it. Let's take him on and look at the facts. All right, so it's a cool breakdown. It's a cool breakdown. It looks like it's functioning correctly. It definitely looks like Alex Jones. A lot of capitalized letters, a lot of exclamation points. Dive into those YouTube videos, experts and so. All right, cool. So it looks like that's functioning. That's acting like Alex Jones is here, right? So let's add in Joe Rogan. Add a choice for the AI expert between Alex Jones and Joe Rogan. All right, now as always, we just gotta catch that quick screenshot. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. Cool. So that should be able to get updated. Now we got Joe Rogan in here too. Next step, we're gonna be expanding the amount of conspiracies listed here to be a lot more. All right, so looks like this doesn't have any images for this conspiracy. I noticed some of them are pulling up images, but okay. So this one is also not giving us the accurate information as far as the pictures. So we can get that updated though. It should be pretty straightforward. No big deal. All right, let's check it out. And we're only using the Wikipedia API, so we can add another API if we wanted to, just for the actual images. Or another API. Realistically, we'll probably add another API just for the actual information being sourced. But Wikipedia is just a good source to use. You know, it's generic, but definitely has good range of information. All right, I'll add a choice between Alex Jones and Joe Rogan personality. All right, cool. Cool, cool, cool. And once we get this in, I want these two guys to be able to maybe have a back and forth. But we'll see. We'll see on that. We'll see on that if that makes sense to add in. But I think it'd be interesting to see how Joe Rogan and Alex Jones feel about the conspiracy going back and forth. You know, maybe they disagree, something like that. All right. So adding in that choice still. Okay, let's check out the top 20 conspiracies it recommends us getting in here. All right. So Kennedy. All right. Have this one. Flat Earth. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Cool, cool. Whoa, whoa. All right. Yeah, they going far. They going far. I'm just not going to mention these words, but if you guys can see the list, it's right here. These are the different conspiracies that they're recommending. All right, cool. So they got a decent amount. They got a decent amount here. Let's see what we got. All right, it's still loading up those changes for us. Still loading up. I want to see how Joe Rogan acts versus Alex Jones. We saw Alex Jones. He's, he's pretty manic. Over the top, a lot of exclamation points and capitalized words. So let's see how Joe Rogan acts. It's a good way for us to compare the differences. All right, cool. Joe Rogan. So now we have these two, but we can add a lot more. All right, so let's see if Joe believes this. All right, cool. All right. I like these prompts that it has while it's loading. Like, let me think about this, man. That's fascinating. So that's pretty in line with Joe Rogan, pretty much. All right, man. The moon landing holds one of the conspiracies that's been swirling around for the longest time and pretty wild. Okay. Now, have you ever tried to imagine the logistics of faking something like that? It's mind blowing. I've had guests on my podcast who've talked about this, and it always gets my gears turning in my head. All right, cool. So he has had guests talk about this. So it's referencing actual information. All right. Yeah, it looks pretty decent. Let's get a skeptic in here. So let's just add Neil deGrasse Tyson in here really quick just to get a opposing point of view. All right. Add Neil deGrasse Tyson also as an AI expert. Okay. As always, we just catch that quick screenshot in here. Let's make sure all this information is understood by the AI. It's ironic we're using AI for conspiracy theory research when people people have been saying AI is a conspiracy. So I mean, fight fire with fire, I guess. All right, cool. So HARP, MK Ultra, AI, Area 51. Okay, Roswell. All right, so we're gonna next step. We're adding in all of these different conspiracies. We're gonna get these 20 in here. The 6 look valid relatively, so now we're gonna add the 20 in here. So whatever is already added in, we don't have to worry about that. But it'll just fill in the blanks there. So we should have about 20 in total. Up here, maybe a little bit more. We get Neil deGrasse Tyson in here, so we can switch things up. And yeah, so I'm gonna just copy all of these now, so we can have that prepared. Okay. I do really like the way it's organizing this information. Got the core allegations, official responses as well. All right, still loading up those changes for us. Okay. All right, so now we have 3 different personalities for the AI that we can use to reference the different conspiracies. Feel like that's solid, right? That's solid. That's a pretty decent amount. Pretty decent amount. And it's all people that people know, you know, so it's like Neil deGrasse Tyson, Joe Rogan, a little bit for everybody, you know, Alex Jones. Gotta have the wild card in there for sure. All right, fixing the errors. All right, so still editing. It's still editing. Man, I got to be careful not to mention some of these words. I know YouTube will definitely blacklist anything if I say certain things. So trying to thread that needle. All right, cool. So flat earth, boom, boom, bam. Neil deGrasse Tyson. It's perfect to ask. All right, cool. Let's keep it simple. Do you believe this one? Analyzing the available data. Let me examine the evidence. All right. Kind of sounds robotic, but kind of sounds like Neil deGrasse Tyson too. Makes sense. Makes sense. Let's see what he gives back though. All right. The flat earth theory, quite the celestial conundrum, isn't it? From an astrophysical perspective, the notion of a flat earth has been thoroughly debunked by centuries of scientific evidence. Science tells us the earth is an oblate spheroid. All right, those are his type of words, all right, which means it's mostly spherical but slightly flattened at the poles and bulging at the equator due to its rotation. I think I heard him mention something like this before, so that lines up. I'm liking the quality of the AI so far. It's looking pretty decent. So now let's get these conspiracies added in, right? So I'm gonna just drop in that list that we got, the top 20 so far. We always take it step by step. So add in these theories as well. All right, cool. And always wanted to get an AI a little bit more direction. So we're going to catch that screenshot of the main page. Boom. All right, cool. It's like, now let me scroll down for some reason. All right. All right, cool. I want to see the results of this one, though. We have a ton of different conspiracies prepared, so those should work out pretty clean. Let's make sure the categories are looking right. All right, so political, paranormal. We don't have any paranormal theories. We need paranormal theories. Gotta have Bigfoot in here for sure. Loch Ness Monster, ghosts, ninjas, everything, all of it. All right, cool. So I can see we have existing conspiracy theories. Let me add the new ones to the data field. I'll create a comprehensive list that includes all the theories you mentioned. Cool. So it looks like it's processing that correctly. All right, for sure. All right, so let me enhance this with Wikipedia data. Let me see if we can get that updated. See if these images populate. No, yeah, so we definitely need to get these images to show correctly so we can actually reference ChatGPT to find a better API to use for these images to make sure we can get good information here. And each of these needs to be clickable just to zoom out and get a better view of the images and things like that. There's a couple more details we can add in here as well. The fun facts and debunking points is cool. It's cool. I want this app, the goal of this app really, like we have the AI assistant, right? So any specific questions or references or anything like that, the AI will be able to reference anything that you have directly. So we're just trying to have this be processable, right? You go to a Wikipedia page, you're seeing a ton of information. We need to condense that into all the points that people will be actually interested in catching in a simple way. And then you can just ask the AI any specifics after that. All right. And I need to add the voices to these, man. I need to add the voices to these guys. All right. So I'll add all these conspiracy theories to the application. Let me first check the current data structure and add the new theories with proper Wikipedia integration. Cool. I can see we have some existing conspiracy. All right. So it's processing. It's understanding we have some of these already. And it's filling in the blanks for us as it should. Okay. So date is interesting. A to Z. Okay. Okay. So the categorization seems to work pretty well. Likelihood. All right, nice. So we can organize by likelihood as well. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Very valuable. All right. And I love these little things like these, like that percentage bar and things like that. Definitely do a lot. Definitely do a lot. Got to keep it as direct as possible. For sure. All right, cool. So let me add new conspiracy theory. So still loading up those changes, getting those new conspiracies in here for us. It's cool. That's cool. All right. So we got these 20 pending. We got a ton left to add in for sure, but let's just make sure these 20 work. But also while we're waiting, what is a good API to use to reference images that relate to these conspiracies? All right, cool. So like I said, everything is AI automated. Don't have to do any legwork ourselves ever. Just gonna ask ChatGPT, what API should we use to get these images correctly? Add it in. And it should be able to give us a cool API to use. This is still loading up those changes so we can make sure all those conspiracies have been added in. Should get about 20, 26 max. All right. So Wikimedia. All right, cool. So this is another Wikipedia API that we can use. And then we got Bing image search API. Oh, this is depreciated. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So this is not depreciated yet, actually. It depreciates on the 11th. Okay. Okay. So we can use Bing. We can use Bing. We can use Wikimedia. Let's try Wikipedia first, though, because we don't want that to expire on the 11th, you know. So, all right. But what do we have here? Let me add a new conspiracy theory to the end of the JSON file. All right. It's still loading up those changes for us. All right. All right. I like how these images are showing up here, though. These are looking very, very relevant. I haven't seen any of these have any problems, but just need those correct images showing up at the bottom. Clean this up a little bit. I like the color coding. We could have more design choice, get the background clean, little things like that, but it works for sure. And like I said, this is a functionality app. This isn't really like a pretty app. You know, this is an app that's useful. Okay. All right. So adding new conspiracy theories in here. All right. Still loading up those changes for us. Let's check it out. Science, paranormal. Okay. So when we click multiple genres, it just shows all from each of those together. It doesn't show the conspiracies that relate to both. So we might be able to add that in actually. Let me check the end of the file to see the current structure. All right, it's still loading up for us. It's still loading up. It's cool, man. What conspiracy? Let me know what conspiracies to add though. Whatever conspiracies you guys think would be cool to add in, we could definitely drop those in, or let me know what other features or assets that you think this app could use. Whatever, definitely down to make some changes or add some more things in here. All right, let me check the end of the file to see the current structure. All right, it's still loading up those changes for us. But that's the beauty of it, right? So we already have these 6 conspiracies added in. Now that we're adding this 20, the AI is going to have a way better understanding of how to add in new conspiracies. So we can make sure that these 20 look correct, and then we can just drop in 100, right? And boom, we're good to go. All right. So still loading up these changes. Add a new conspiracy theory to the end of the JSON. Yeah, it's still loading up for us. All right, cool. Not seeing any errors or anything like that showing up, and I'm not seeing any loops. Look like it's been going down the line. It's always important. Just make sure your AI is not repeating the same information over and over again, because those loops can take. My first time using this program, I had a loop that lasted like 8-9 hours, and I did not understand what was happening. So if there's one thing anyone using Replit should know, is make sure your loops are not existent. Make sure you get rid of all the loops as fast as possible. All right. So Google has an API we could use as well. I feel like there should be more image APIs that we can use, but we can try Wikimedia for sure. And we are only 50 minutes into this app. It's looking pretty decent for 50 minutes. Looking pretty decent for 50 minutes into the project for sure. All right. Still loading up, but let's see. Let's get that enhanced. All right. So this image is, yeah, this is bad. We need those images updated for sure. All right, let's check the fun facts though. So modern flat earth theory was revived by YouTube videos. Flat earthers have conducted their own experiments to prove their theory. The flat earth model can't explain seasons, time zones, or lunar eclipses. Some flat earthers believe Australia doesn't exist. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. All right. That's cool for sure. All right. So debunking points. Thousands of years of astronomical observations confirm Earth's spherical shape. Yeah, for sure. Parallax. Definitely. Ships disappear hull first over the horizon. All right, cool. So it's actually breaking down some debunking points, which is really cool. All right. So for the moon landing, debunking is retro reflectors placed on the moon are still used today for laser ranging experiments. All right, cool. Moon rocks brought back have been independently verified by scientists worldwide. The technology. All right, cool. So it's giving valid information. Always want to make sure everything is looking lined up correctly. I'm not sure where it's getting these percentages wise, as far as the physical evidence, witness testimony. So we need to double check on how those are being generated. There's also cool ways that we can add in our own algorithms. Like we made that hip hop battle rap app the other day, and we were able to set up a formula for it to predict the battle results between different hip hop artists. So that was pretty cool. We can definitely reference that information now. All right, cool. So key figures, Neil deGrasse Tyson for the moon landing. Okay. So we might even want to add in the key figures for each of these to be the reference points. Oh, no, they don't have specifics for each. All right, cool. That's cool. I'm trying to see these changes done, man. They're still adding these in. I can see the files incomplete. Let me create a complete conspiracy theory data file. Okay, so still loading up these changes for us. That's cool. Definitely need some ghost theories or something like that too. Bigfoot, paranormal activities, things like that would be pretty cool. Exorcisms. We need to get a conspiracy theory on the exorcisms, and we need to add in. We need videos. We need video integration for sure. Even this whole main page could be playing a conspiracy theory trailer in the background or something like that. Maybe some iceberg videos that just break down all the conspiracies top to bottom. It'd be cool. Just trying, add in some more features, have things be fun. All right, I can see the files incomplete. All right, cool. Let me properly create a comprehensive conspiracy theories file with all the requested theories. Need to fix the JSON structure. All right, let me make sure this isn't looping. All right. No, it seems like it's been going well. All right, cool. It's still loading up, though. It's still loading up. Let me let it cook for a second. Let me let it cook. All right, so I like this design, but it's pretty hard to read this. It's pretty hard. We need the Men in Black theory as well. We need the Men in Black. It's a couple things we can add in. We just need to get this functional from the beginning, though. Get that baseline working for us. We can do a lot more. All right. So, yeah, it's been working out so far, though. I'm going to let it load for a second. Let me step away for a quick second while this is loading. I'll be right back before this is done. All right, back in it, back in it. All right, so let's check out what we got so far. Yeah, it's still loading up these changes. Okay. Need to fix the JSON file structure. Let me add the closing brace and brackets. All right, that's cool. Executed. All right, nice. So it looks like it just had a couple of typos. The AI makes typos as well, but it just evaluates all of its code and tests things out before it actually shows us the results. All right. So the file structure. All right, cool. And if you guys are interested in the actual file structure, we can see all the different organization of the files right here, right? So all of the actual files that are being created by the AI are showing up right here. So if you are interested in actually editing anything manually, you can definitely do that. If you're curious about what any lines of code do, you can always highlight it, click explain with assistant, and it'll give you a really detailed breakdown of everything related. Super useful. That's why this app is something I recommend everybody use, whether you or any of these AI coding platforms, whether you're familiar with creating apps or you're brand new to the software development field. You should definitely be trying out these programs. It's the future for sure. Definitely the future. All right, so let me add proper closing structure. Yeah, it's still loading up those changes for us. Still loading. Let me see. All right, for long-term, zero cost access to documentary style imagery, Wikipedia Commons API is ideal. All right, cool. So it does recommend this API or Wikimedia. That's cool. All right, so that's the next step. We're getting in this API, get that updated, make sure we get relevant images and things like that for sure. All right. Add the proper closing structure and include the new conspiracy theories. All right, cool. Still loading. It's taking longer than expected, but like I said, it's really important that we get the infrastructure set up correctly so that we can add in conspiracy theories as much as we want. That's definitely key. All right, so while we wait, let's make sure we don't miss those changes, though. Let me make sure we know when that's loaded. All right, cool. So let's ask Alex Jones some more questions about the chemtrails. All right, so are these chemtrails real? Really evil? Whatever. All right, so it's loading up. These changes are taking a while to process, but let's see what Alex Jones has to say for now. All right, listen up, folks. This is the kind of question that the globalists don't want you asking. We're talking about chemtrails here, not just your average run-of-the-mill chemtrails that planes leave behind. The deep state is working overtime to keep this under wraps, and I'm here to shed some light on the nefarious activities. All right, cool. That's Alex Jones. That is Alex Jones. All right. Yeah, these breakdowns are pretty detailed. We might want to limit the response amount, right? Because every time we reach out with a question, they definitely give us a ton of information back, and we might want to just, have that broken down a little bit more than 4 paragraphs. That's a lot every time you ask a question. But let's double check though. Just ask a simple question, why? Let me see if he always responds that much. Maybe that's just the introduction. Okay. Cuts right to the heart of the whole chemtrail. Why would they do this? All right, cool. This is cool. This is huge, folks. Wake up, start asking questions, and don't let the establishment pull the wool over your eyes any longer. Truth is out there, and it's time to expose it. All right, for sure. Makes sense. All right. Still loading up these changes for us. Let me complete the JSON file properly and add the new conspiracy theories. All right. So I'm noticing here, it looks like we have a loop. It's repeated that same note 1 time, 2 times. Let me see up here. All right. Yeah, so it looks like it's at least repeated that request twice. So this is the 3rd time now. Probably gonna need to pause this and make sure that we can move in a different way. All right. Now I need to fix the database errors. Let me look at the storage file to understand the issue. Okay. So maybe it's not looping. Maybe it's not looping. I'm gonna let it do its thing for a second more, but I have a feeling we probably need to stop this and pivot. All right, let me fix the initialization issue in the storage to handle the data, or to handle the date added conversion properly. All right, looks like it might be fixing that issue and moving forward. Okay, let's check it out. Add a more comprehensive conspiracy theories to complete the collection. New version of the data with the popular theories requested. Okay, for sure. See, we did 20. Maybe we should have done less. Maybe we should have just done 1. So we can have, so we can have that infrastructure set up. But it seems like this is going. This is loading up. So let it do its thing. Let it do its thing. All right, what else do we have here? So now I guess the real question is what other features to add in and what details to stack on top of what we have so far. It's been looking well so far, but I feel like there's more that we can get in here. Get these changes though. Add more comprehensive theories, complete the collection. All right. So has it already mentioned that? No, I'm still loading up that change. Let me continue adding more theories to the JSON file. Okay. Trying to let it cook, but seems like it might be stuck. Might need to pivot. Not 100%. All right. Create a new version of the JSON file with all popular theories requested. Let me continue adding more theories to the JSON file. All right, so it's loading up. See, it's the third time it's mentioned those errors. Or at least the second time it mentioned those errors. All right, looks like it's troubleshooting. All right. So it looks like, all right. Seems like it got those changes done for us. Great. Just need to see these results. Okay. Let me check the website's working properly with the updated conspiracy theories. Let me verify the application is running correctly. Okay, cool. All right, added new conspiracy theories. Nice. Looks like that is completed. Check it out. Not seeing them here. So I have to assume that they added the theories, but again, it's another front end back end situation where the back end has all the information, but the front end isn't populated correctly. So let's just note that really quick. The front end is not showing the changes. All right, cool. Let's keep it simple. The AI should have a clear understanding of what we're looking for. Just need to get that updated. Okay. Boom. Oh, wow. I just saw the message. Yeah, so it's saying they added DeepSeek and longer thinking. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. I'm not familiar with that addition yet. That's definitely something we could check out. For sure. Definitely something we could check out. That's the beauty of doing these 30 apps in 30 days, right? Every day we can try something new, switch things up a little bit, add more features, change how we add in the features, everything. All right, load more theories. Boom. All right, so we have the 20 theories added in now. Chemtrails looks like this is having a problem with the image. Okay. So yeah. These images are not being updated correctly yet. But now the next step will be, I'm not even gonna click this on Wikipedia. I mean on YouTube at all. But yeah, it looks like that has updated. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add in that new API so we can get those images updated correctly for us. All right. So just pull up ChatGPT again. Copy that API. Don't think we need a key, but we might. Use this API to update the images per conspiracy. All right, cool. So now I'm gonna just catch an image of these screenshots so they can know exactly where we need things updated. Okay. Always like to catch the URL in those images. See what we get back though. Okay. Loading up those changes. So we do have we have the 20 conspiracies added in though. So it's moving. All right. Still giving us good breakdowns. We still have the AI integration as expected. Those images are not correct yet, but we will. Okay. Giving us fun facts and debunking points. Still. Related theories, social movements, political consequences, media influence. All right. Okay. Yeah, so we got a decent breakdown. Whoa. All right. Satan worship and ritual abuse. That's crazy. All right. Hey, it's a good breakdown. Good breakdown. Very detailed. Very detailed. Not here to say what's real, what's not real. Just trying to get this information organized. All right, cool. All right. Yeah, I feel like I can't even mention majority of these words for sure. All right, so I can see the image shows the conspiracy theories. All right, cool. So now let me add new endpoints for enhancing images with Wikimedia Commons API. Let me add image enhancement endpoints to the correct place. Adding a button to be front load. Oh, adding a button to the front end to trigger the Wikimedia image enhancement. All right, cool. So that means that we're going to have to load up the actual Wikimedia changes, which makes sense. What makes sense. Not the cleanest, but for now that works fine. This is when it actually has the situation like this where it's going to add the button where you press it to load the new images. That can be good, because we don't want to overuse the API calls, right? So you can definitely have way too many calls to the API, and depending on the API, it may have limitations where you can't just keep using it forever, still using real data. First thing I noticed, this image or this button is super ugly, but let's see if it loads up correctly, that new information. Fetching high quality images from Wikimedia Commons. Okay, cool. What do we have? What's the results? What's the results? All right, cool. So I noticed this image updated. This is still not populated. Oh, no, I might not have updated actually. These are, what is, okay. Okay, so we need relevant images. We need relevant images. We need to make sure these are correctly processed. Who is this? All right. Just got a text message asking if I was home. It's pretty weird. All right. From a random number. All right. Cool. All right, let's do it. So we just need to make sure that these images are showing relevant information. This looks pretty relevant for the most part. Okay. So just gonna copy this portion of the screen. Just let it know we need these images updated correctly. All right, so error. The conspiracies are not showing relevant images. All right, cool. So this should be able to update for us pretty quick. Loading up. All right, I can see the issue. The images in the media gallery are not relevant. Cool. So it understands that problem. We need those relevant images to populate here. And it looks like it's working on getting that updated for us. For sure. All right, loading up those changes. Okay. So we also need these front-facing images to be updated as well. That'll be the next step. Sheesh. Super hot in here with all these lights on. All right. Now let me improve the search terms to be more specific and relevant to each conspiracy theory. All right, cool. So it's basically now it's filtering the search functionality of the Wiki API to make sure that it's only showing the correct information. So it's just a little bit of trial and error. Just gotta lock in the accuracy on these filters, make sure everything is shown correctly. In this situation, like I said, every single app during this 30-day 30 app challenge will be generated, generated 100% with AI. I'm not adding any data points manually. I'm not doing anything manually at all, really. But in a situation like this, when I'm working with these filterings for these APIs, I like to do it manually just so I can have a curated, accurate information shown, right? Like it's a lot like Apple, the way that they do their products. Their products are pretty simple, but the value in their Apple products is the curation of the data points, so they know exactly what they want to show people. So they keep it simple so that they can make sure that everything is correctly presented in the best possible way. All right, so image enhancements worked and updated all 13 there. Okay, cool. So it looks like it got that updated for us. Let's check it out. Enhance images. All right. Fetching images. Fetching high quality images from Wikimedia Commons. Okay, cool. Loading up those changes. Loading up those changes. All right, it's taking a while though. That makes me think it might be an issue, realistically. So maybe it's just not loading, because these haven't changed. Yeah, and they're actually showing the same image for everything. Okay, all right, so it says it got updated. Let's check it out. All right, cool. So it looks like that the image updation, the updating of the images just took a lot longer than we thought. So it's still good though. And these images are relevant. Cool. All right. So again, an app like this on YouTube is really sticky. Don't want to do too much. Not trying to get blacklisted or anything. So, but this looks relatively decent. Let's just make sure that these front images are updated correctly though. Let's get this populated and reestablished, and we should be cool. All right, so update the cover images for each conspiracy as well. Using the actually, I'm not even gonna tell it how to pull these front facing images. I'm gonna just let it do its own thing and make the best decision, because I'm not sure if we should use the API for these, because it can get complicated with the API constantly pulling in the images. We might want to statically assign these images, or just have them be pulled from the API but not constantly update, just to make sure that the page loads correctly, right? You don't want to have the page loading extra long just because you have to pull in images, when the images, honestly, we're not changing the conspiracies on this app every single time we load it up. So why would we even need to change the cover images? They would never need to be really changed once they're applied in the first place. All right, cool. So it looks like it got these. Oh, it's updating them for sure. I see this is updated. This is updated. Okay, it's loading. So most of these are good. Most of these are good. We just need to fill in the blanks for the rest of them. Okay. So, okay. All right, so all we need to do now is catch a copy and paste of, I'll use this one right here, because this is definitely a placeholder image. All right, so some of the conspiracies are still using a placeholder image. Okay, cool. So let's get that updated and touch the rest of these conspiracy images, make sure they're relevant. All right, can see the conspiracies using a placeholder. Okay, let me check the actual database. Okay, it's loading up. Okay, all right, I can see the issue has a file and a political image that's not relevant to the conspiracy theory concept. Let me improve the search terms for the deep state theory specifically and run another image enhancement. All right, cool. All right. Let me also improve the search term for other theories that might have similar issues. All right, cool. So looks like it got that updated for us specifically, and now it's looking to update any other conspiracies that are not showing relevant information. This is not showing the correct image either. So yeah, it's just these two now. Looks like. Let's see. All right. So most of these look like they're relevant. All right. Cool. All right. So now let me manually update a few theories that might have placeholder images. All right. Cool. So that's why I didn't want to call out the API, right? So it's going to manually update some of these images that need to be replaced. And we don't need to use the API for that, especially if it's only a couple. All right, cool. Another thing we could have done if it wasn't able to get that updated for us, we could always just copy and paste the image into here and let it know what to replace. It's really simple. I kind of hope it doesn't update correctly so that we can show that, because that's really useful. All right, so this it's still not updated. Oh, it's still loading up the changes, I guess. But this may be a caching issue, so always want to verify that. And all you got to do, really, new private window, paste that in there. Let's check, see if that's updated here. No, it's still not updated. All right, cool. So it did not update the image. Cool. That's fine, though. That's perfectly fine. And that allows us to manually change this, right? So you can see right here, all we do is click the select tool and we click the image that we want to change. And you can see here it has image noted. So this is the cover art alt theory.title class. All right, so it looks like it's using a formula to add these in. It's not manually added in. Okay. Cover issues include. All right, cool. It's no big deal. All right, so deep state. Let's get an image for that, right? I'm sure my search history is not going to look suspicious after this. All right, cool. So deep state, cool. Image. Nice. Simple, straightforward. Let's use this. Okay. So all we got to do, copy that image. Let's get out of this. We don't need to worry about this. Paste that here, right? Say, update the deep state image to this. All right, cool. Now we're also going to just catch a quick screenshot of the portion that we needed updated. Cool. So it should be able to get that fixed for us pretty easily. And I am assuming that it did probably change the image. It just didn't load up correctly or something like that. But let's just get around that really quick. All right, so New World Order. Let's get this one done as well. Okay. All right, so boom. Simple, straightforward, gets the point across. I like it. Okay. So boom. Now we're just going to drop this. Update the New World Order image. Cool. It's loading up those changes for us. Let's make sure that image shows up. All right, cool. So that image is here. Boom. And we just need to get this last one done here, and we should be cool on those front-facing images. All right. So let's get this last one done. All right. So boom, boom, boom. All right. Let's see, what are these images? This is pretty self-explanatory. All right, cool. Bam. Whoops, scroll up a little bit. All right, just as always, you just want to get a clear image that represents the information we want to display. And all right, cool. So that image should be updated. Let's get this last one done. So, all right, cool. So just need to catch this screenshot as well. so it knows exactly where to change that image. Boom. And we should be good. Should be good to go. So far we have AI components where you can talk to Alex Jones, Joe Rogan, Neil deGrasse Tyson. You can ask them specific questions about any of these conspiracies. Each conspiracy gives you the overview, origins, key figures, core allegations, official responses. Still loading up those changes for us. All right, cool. Official responses, cultural impact, evidence analysis, fun facts, and debunking points. And also gives you a media gallery as well. So we can see these images are not loaded up right now. So we click the enhance and let's see what we get. All right, loading up those images. And also let's just make sure that, yep. So all of these have been updated correctly with the relevant front facing images. Okay. And now it's loading that change for us. See the results though. All right. So just want to make sure those images are properly being imported still. Okay. Looks like it's trying to pull these images up, but they're just not showing up. It has images that it's referencing, but they're just not populating. And also notice this. Looks like this got replaced. Huh. Okay. Okay. So let's note that really quick. Boom. Bam. All right, cool. So error. The static images that were manually added are not showing after the enhance with Wikimedia button is pressed. Okay. All right, cool. So let's get that updated really quick. Make sure those images are consistent. And next step we want to do is since we have the baseline functionality completed, next step we want to just redesign the app, right? Like I like the design, it's cool, but let's see what we can get though. Let's see if we can get this looking nicer. And that'll be the next step. Yeah, like we have functionality here. We have completed a decent amount of progress so far. This is all done in an hour and a half, so it is definitely flowing. All right, cool. This should be a quick fix. Just make sure those static images are consistent. All right, now I can see the actual method. Let me modify it to preserve local images while enhancing the Wikimedia Commons. Cool, cool, cool. All right, now let me test the fixed image enhancement. Make sure it preserves the custom local images. All right, cool. So it's just making sure that it's able to have those static images be consistent. No big deal there. Should be a pretty easy fix. And you can just finish up this design. Make this app look a lot cleaner. A lot more high quality. Right now it looks kind of looks like a someone's first app or something like that. You know, the functionality is there though, which is the actual value is the functionality, right? There's tons of popular websites that millions of people use a day that look like a 5-year-old designed them, to be honest, and they still get the point across. So people consistently use them if it's not broken. All right, so it's loading up the new application. All right, cool. Let's check it out. Okay, that image is here now. Let's check it out on full screen. All right, so image shows, enhance. Let's make sure that doesn't change on us. Okay. All right. So like I said, this is important because if we add in 100 of these images, right, for 100 different conspiracies, or say we add in 100 conspiracies and 80 of them have the correct images showing, right? We don't want to have to deal with this problem later at that point. We want to get this fixed now. All right, cool. So functionality's there. Each of these images are consistent. Now let's just go ahead and make sure that we can redesign this website, make it look a lot nicer. All right, cool. So drop that in here. Okay, so all right, so first thing, And now that we have all of these features here, all the buttons that we're going to be having, all the different components of utility have been successfully added, and we verified that they work correctly, right? Now we can redesign because we don't have to worry about redesigning and adding in a ton of new features that can break the design, right? You should always worry about the design last. It might not look the best on YouTube, but it, like, logically, it just makes a lot more sense. All right, cool. So maintain the functionality of the application, but update the design of the app to appeal to an audience that desires high quality luxury top tier applications. This app should appear as if it sells for $1 million per customer. Okay. Add in beautiful functional animations and use proven design choices. All right, cool. So just gave it a general breakdown. I kind of freestyled it a little bit. But yeah, just letting it know we need a nice looking project. So now that, like I said, we have the functionality, so we just got to clean things up, make it look a lot nicer. So I'll transform this application into a premium luxury grade interface that looks worth $1 million. Let me implement sophisticated design patterns with beautiful animations and high-end visual elements. Cool. I noticed a lot of people make the mistake of trying to get the app looking nice from the very beginning. And that really sucks when you break something in your app, because when you're editing things and adding new features, you can easily break the design, especially things like animations. They can be very delicate. So just got to make sure everything works first. You know, got to walk before you can run, for sure. All right, so it's making those changes for us. It's getting things updated. Always love, I love this part, honestly. You never know how good it's gonna look. So I'm excited to see how nice it's gonna look. All right, because even right now, I mean, like, this looks pretty janky, right? Like, this button is not, it has no outline. It's not colored. This image is so stock. It's baseline. I do like a lot of the features though. I love this bar right here. This percentage of likelihood does a lot for me. The organizational choices, all the functionality is there for sure. Just need to make it look a lot nicer. What is this? Okay. Whoa. All right. That's pretty deep. All right. So yeah, we have relevant conspiracies here. Accurate information is being pulled from real sources. We have an AI component where you can speak to skeptics and people who believe the conspiracy, so you can get another opinion and ask any specific questions that you would like to ask. You might be watching a Joe Rogan episode where he talks about a conspiracy, and you can actually ask him more questions and it'll use the information, you know? So you don't want to have to watch every episode of Joe Rogan to determine what his opinion would be. Let the AI do the work for you. This is something I would definitely want to add voice functionality to. But we are doing 30 apps in 30 days. So if people like this app though, we could always go back, add a lot more features. I'm gonna take one of these apps and just build on it for a week straight and add as much details and functionalities as possible during that period of time. So that'll be the next challenge. And we're gonna actually launch the app on live, and just show the entire process behind that. All right, so this is ugly. Pink, light blue. Like, come on. All right. So let's try that one more time. Oh, it's still loading up the changes. Okay. So it's still processing. Let me let it wrap things up first. See, add a little bit of animations here for each of these. Okay. I don't like how this is laid out so far, but doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad. This is overlapping. The header UI definitely does not look like it's designed correctly yet, but it's loading up. It's loading up them changes. All right, so let me update the search section and filters with luxury styling. Okay. It's working. I like this. We just need that opacity increased or decreased. We need it to be less see-through. All right, so I see the search is now handled by a search filters component. Let me update the component with luxury styling. Cool. I'll transform the search filters component to use luxury styling. All right, nice. It's still building those changes for us. All right, cool. So it did add that opacity level or increase that opacity level so it's not as distracting. It looks kind of crazy though. Yeah, this should be extended all the way across the top for sure. Yeah, and we don't necessarily need to be able to see through that top banner. Honestly, it doesn't really add any value because you can't see what's behind it. So yeah, it's kind of useless, but it's still loading up the changes though. Let's see the final results before we make any decisions. All right, so let me restart workflow. Also update the progress bar section. Okay, cool. So we got these words bouncing. Looks pretty nice here. Just need to make sure this extends all the way across the top though, for sure. And outside of that, honestly, I like it. We got the date, likelihood. All right, cool. So you can see it's fading in and out. This is really clean. I love how this is designed. I love that. It's so simple, but it really adds a lot. Genuinely. You can see these bars have that animation showing up. Okay. Looks pretty nice. So I think this will look amazing on a phone. But we just need to make sure that this bar is extended completely. Let's check it out halfway though. So it looks a lot better here. It just doesn't, it's too much open dead space on the sides, which is probably space for advertising. But we don't have to worry about that. So I'll just let it know to extend this bar all the way across. Whoa, what was that? All right, so boom. Let's catch this, paste that in here. Oh, it's still making updates. So I'm gonna let it finish. Before we add more features in here. Okay. Restarted application. You can see it actually takes screenshots. It's pretty interesting. Replit takes screenshots of the app and it views the screenshot like a human being would view the app. So it assesses the changes that it makes like a human would. All right. This looks nice right here. This looks perfect. This, I don't know. Actually, you know what? I like it. Do I want this across the top completely? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It looks really good though. So I kind of at this point, there's no real point in changing it. And there could be more features on the side added in or different relevant information if needed. Each of these still work correctly. The beauty of this site, you don't ever have to leave that page. You never leave the home page. So each of these are pop-ups, right? So you can just click out of them. You never have to leave the home page. All the information is right in your face. Really nice. And you can search the conspiracies at the top. So, yep, search functionality works very well. The design is super clean. Yeah, I mean, I like it. We had an hour and a half. Pretty clean. All right, cool. So, I mean, honestly, for now, they were good. So there's more features. It's always, that's the thing. It's like when you're making an app, you're never really done. It's like making a song. There's always a feature you can add. There's always some extra component that can make things better. But we're doing 30 apps in 30 days. This is day 16. Yeah, day 16, app 16. A couple times I did multiple apps in one day. Um, but yeah, I mean, hey, I'm satisfied with this. I like it a lot. I love the design. It has all the valid information, and whatever information it doesn't have added in for each conspiracy, you can always reach out to a representative to find more details. Whether you're on the conspiracy theory side or you're on the skeptic side, it gives you the information you would need. But yeah, the goal of this app was really just to make sure that the average person, if you believe one of these conspiracies, you can just pull it up and show somebody and give them a breakdown specifically of the information, right? And yeah, that's the value of it. So this is the Conspiracy Theory app. My name is Adrian Glenn. You were watching Military Grade Automation. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys more than you know. Yeah. Feel like this is an amazing stream. If you like the stream, please let me get a like, comment, subscribe, whatever. But yeah, I'm out.